Hi everybody. We have one more project to share with you for our virtual day. Hope you've been enjoying it. And this one I think might just be my favorite. We are actually working on the basket weave pattern by Pam and Nikki Lintott, I think. Lintott. They are mother-daughter from the UK, and I first saw this pattern back in the early spring and knew it was going to be a perfect one for Just So Happy. We will be having a class on this in October and probably a repeat of it first of the year. So it's probably this one's going to be a little different. This one you probably will want to take the class, or you will need to buy the pattern to get all the details. But I'm going to kind of do an overview for you. We go through the steps of this. So again, here's your pattern, just called basket weave. It makes a 70 by 70 quilt, but is easily adaptable to larger, and I'm actually making a bed runner for my bed rather than having so many quilts. So I wanted a pretty Christmas runner. So let me show you a little bit about this great pattern. Now it does take a Creative Grids ruler. It's a 90-degree triangle, and this is kind of a triple ruler that they have out now. It is a 6-inch flying geese. It's a 45-degree and a 90-degree all in one. I've really learned to like this ruler. Of course, we do love our tools. So we'll use that. I'll show you that in just a second. But the easy part, and again, you can do this out of scrap if you like, or I'm using the beautiful Moda Star Flowers for Christmas, the jelly roll. 2.5-inch strips, and I think you start with 40 strips. You make 2 sets. You make your 2 strip. Just imagine the grunge is not there. We have the 2 strips. Then what you do, you take your accent fabric, and on one strip you put the accent at the bottom, and here my accent strip is at the top. If you consider the trees the top, snowflake the bottom, accent bottom, accent top. Now, it doesn't matter that these trees are upside down. I do know that. And it's not going to matter because it's a basket weave or a wreath effect, and it's going to be turning in 8 different directions. So it will not matter if you get worried about a tree upside down. So we have our strip sets, and then the next thing we do, cutting, you're also going to have accent fabric, and I just chose a white. I thought that just looked kind of crisp and snowy with my Christmas fabric. So you're cutting the strips for that, 2.5, and then you're cutting little 2.5-inch cornerstones if you want them. Some people don't like cornerstones, so when I cut the sashing strip, I would just add the extra if I did not want my cornerstones. But we'll talk about those again in a moment. You are going to be cutting some squares. I forget what size squares these were, 8 or 9 inches, but anyway, then just cut into half square triangles because they will be your cornerstones on your wreath. Got my hand in there. And the one thing that's a little tricky is the centerpiece. It's hard to tell front from back. Here we go. This is an octagon. I thought, okay, it won't be a problem. We're bound to have a ruler like that at work. And of course we didn't. The pattern does have one. It does have to be enlarged. You have to know how to maneuver on a printer to enlarge. You're going to have to enlarge it to 400%. Well, that was too much work for me. I just got out my graph paper and drew a line. Let me put it on the darker so you can see it. Each line is 3 3/4 inches. So I just graphed it out and made my own octagon. Now, if you take the class, I won't make you do that much work. I will have the octagon already made for you, but I will show you how to do it if you need help. So you make those. You have one of these for the center of every wreath that you make, again depending on how many you want to do. So then you take your strip, here's a partial strip set that I've been working on. This one, my accent is on the top. So this one, this next cut, this will be at the top. And you line it up.
Trying to get that glare
yeah.
out.
It's kind of hard to see. And then I'll just take my cutter and I would cut right here. Then the next one, I would rotate the ruler and it would be cut in this direction. And you have to do 2 strips. You need, of course, 8 pieces to go around it, or it wouldn't be an octagon. Now let me get my things back out. Tried to do all this in reverse, so hopefully I have it for you. And here are my pieces with the accent at the top, the accent at the bottom. And the way you start this, you take your first one, you always start with the accent at the top. And you just put it any side to start with. All the sides are the same. And you match it up, 1/4 inch seam, but you're going to stop halfway across. So I would line it up right here and I would stitch to right about here. The reason for that, when you put the 8th piece on, then all you have to do is flip this and it just sews right into it. I know you look at this and think, oh my gosh, that's bound to have a Y seam in it. It does not. They're all just straight seams. It works beautifully. Okay, so this piece would now be right here and it would be even. So my next piece, I want my accent on the bottom. And I would turn it right sides together, stitch 1/4 inch, and I love my 1/4 inch foot with the guide on this. It just makes it so much easier and more accurate. Plus you realize you've been cutting on the bias, and so you want to be careful that you haven't stretched any of this. So then that one would turn back, and now we need the accent on the top, and it would connect right here. And you would go all the way around, repeating that, one on the top, one on the bottom, until you had this beautiful piece. And see how easy that was? Then, after you have made this, your next thing is to take your half square triangles and place one right sides together, stitch on all four sides, press, and then square it up. Once you have squared it up, the only thing left now is the sashing. It doesn't take away from the design. It just has a strip on either side. And then each of your bottom sashes, you put the cornerstones on. You do this at the bottom as well as at the top. And you can connect as many of these together as you like. Like I said, I'm going to do about 5 or 6 for a bed runner. I want it king size. But quilts, 3 across, 3 down's a nice throw, or you can just... All right, we have scheduled the class here at Just So Happy. We're going to have it on October 21st, will be our first one. It is a one-day class. You will at least go home with one wreath made. It will be October 21st again from 10:30 to 3:30ish, and we will probably repeat after first of the year. The reason we can't give you more details on the online videos in our YouTube is it wouldn't be fair to the pattern designers. They work very hard for these designs, and this is a beautiful one. So we would not want to infringe on any copyright laws. So we would love for you to join us. If you do not live in our area and cannot join us, contact us and I will be more than happy to help you. If you want us to send you a pattern, and if you need jelly rolls or fabric, we have our online store. And then if you run into any issues, all you have to do is call our store and we would be more than happy to help you, FaceTime with you and work it out for you. We want everyone to have a beautiful basket weave.